This might look small at first glance, but there are some layers to this. Myles Garrett isn't expected to show up at the start of the Browns' voluntary program. And before anything else, this isn't exactly breaking news. He's done this before. But the context, right now, that's what makes this way more interesting. What's actually going on the program is voluntary. Let's get that straight right away. Nobody has to be there. According to Ian Rappaport, there's no internal drama, no beef with the front office, nothing tied to trade talks. The organization has already made it clear they're not moving Garrett. But at the same time, this absence is happening right when the team is going through a lot of changes. New head coach, Todd Monken, new structure, contract tweaks for Garrett, rumors floating around, and a team coming off a rough 5-12 season. So yeah, it's not just another absence. It's about the timing, the real Browns context. This is a Browns team still trying to figure itself out. The last few years, it's been that same cycle. Hype, then frustration. There's talent, especially on defense, but they just can't stay consistent. Now you hit this offseason with a new coaching staff, structural changes, major contract adjustments, and a locker room that needs to redefine its identity. And in that kind of situation, leadership matters. And we're not talking about just any player. We're talking about the best defensive player in football right now. The dude just dropped 23 sacks and took home another DPOY. The part that really matters. Here's the core of it. Garrett being absent doesn't affect on-field performance right now. That's a fact. He doesn't need these workouts to be ready. But symbolic impact? Oh yeah, that's real. Because when you've got a new head coach coming in, installing a new system, those early days are about culture. That's when you set the work standard, the intensity, the leadership, the tone in the locker room. So the question becomes, who's helping set that tone? Because leadership isn't just about Sundays. Garrett's style. And to be fair here, Garrett has always been a little different in that regard. He's not the classic vocal leader. He's not the guy grabbing the mic and firing up the room. But on the field, he delivers at an elite, ridiculous level. So the organization basically says, let him do his thing because it works. And honestly, it does. But here's what's different now. Before, all of this was happening in a stable environment. Now, not even close. The Browns are trying to build something new, and that changes how this hits. This isn't about conditioning. It's about presence. Honest take. I don't think this is a huge problem, but I also don't think it's nothing like some folks are trying to spin it. There's a middle ground here. If this was any other player, nobody's even talking about it. But this is Myles Garrett. That hits different, especially since people have already questioned his leadership before. So every little thing gets magnified. What about the trade rumors? Let's be real. That doesn't make sense. The Browns are not trading the best defensive player in the league right after handing him a massive contract. Andrew Berry basically shut that down. The contract restructure, pushing bonuses back, made noise, sure. But that's cap management, not trade prep. So to me, no direct connection, not a sign he's leaving, but it also doesn't exactly quiet the noise, because absence plus contract tweaks. Instant speculation. That's just how it goes. The real on-field impact right now? Zero. Long-term? Could matter. Because if the Browns want to become a legit contender, they need two things: consistency, a real team identity, and that starts in moments like this. Possible scenarios. Best case. Garrett shows up later, gets back into rhythm, season starts, and he's still wrecking games like always. Nothing changes. This becomes just another off-season footnote. Middle ground. He keeps that low-key approach, still produces, but the team never really builds strong leadership across the board. Result? Talented defense, but not fully connected. Worst case? The absence becomes a pattern at a time when the team needs alignment. Then, every loss, every rough stretch, people start pointing at lack of leadership, and that narrative sticks. What I'm watching, now 3 things. When he shows up, how the coaching staff handles it, who steps up as a leader on defense early on, because somebody will, and that could shift the whole dynamic. Final thought. At the end of the day, this isn't just Garrett skipped practice. It's about when it's happening, and what the Browns are trying to build right now. So let me ask you, do you really think this is nothing? Or is this one of those small things that ends up telling the whole story? Because if you've been around the Browns long enough, you know how this goes. Sometimes it's the little stuff that ends up defining the whole damn season.